Welcome back. Today we're flying out the J6, and before you click this video away, because it's not the MiG-19S, the MiG-19S is basically the same plane as the J6 as well as the MiG-19PT, with the MiG-19S lacking the radar, missiles, and is of course 5 to 7% lighter depending on the amount of ammo that you have left. For you today I got a 1v5, a 6 kill game with a kill steal, a squad gameplay where we get 7 kills combined, and then to top it all off I got another ace just added in there to give you an average gameplay sense. The first clip I got for you today is 1v5 versus all fighters, in which I kill every single one of them. I'm flying against Corpen, Copsy, Kopschrotter, whatever you want to call him, 5 other fighters and then 3 more bombers. If you look at my fuel here, you can see that the game has just started, but the real match is about to begin. I'm noticing there's a lot of people here, and at this point I'm like, oh hello, that's Corpen. He has a Twitch channel. If you don't know, feel free to pay him a visit, he will be in the description. It's a pretty easy shot on that hunter there. Luckily for me, it won't bite me in the ass. Trying to get some situational awareness in, trying to see if Corpen goes for me or not. We know each other pretty well, so there's a chance that he will just ignore me. T2 goes down to a missile over there, which is pretty huge. I'm not too sure if I would have been able to save this one, or rather, if I was able to get these clips. FJ9 coming in, pretty hard shot, he rolls out of the way, try to do the same thing to the J32, don't manage to get a shot on him. And we just kind of extend and exit the area, because I want to see who's taking shots, who wants to come up to me, and I have to be a little bit opportunistic here. I won't be getting a kill with this missile, I will just be trying to get it off as soon as I can, trying to get something out of the way, but it just misses. And then I'm essentially a 19 with a gun less. This thing does have a radar lead indicator, but I think it's extremely finicky and I don't like using it, and that's why you won't be seeing me use it today. And now it kind of starts to dawn on me. So I ask Corpen if he has a missile left so he can kill me easily, because you know at this point I'm kind of like, I don't want to fight against him with all these people around because it's just not going to happen. He says no, and at that point I'm like, might as well try. So I ask him, can I try to save this one? At least can I give it an attempt? And luckily for me, he's nice enough to give me the go ahead. And there we go. And at this point it's 1v5. And we just go up. J32 won't be able to pull lead in. G91. YS, like, he turns well, but my energy is just so superior, he really won't be able to do much. Just making sure that it's actually Corpen and not me getting jumped by someone else in a second. And at this point I'm just trying to pick a target. I'm on the G91 and I'm on the J32. Who do I want to kill first? The J32, while not much of a threat, can put an immense amount of pressure on me, and the G91 is extremely annoying on its own. So I kind of want to kill the J32 first, but the J32 breaks off and leaves me alone with the G91. So I go for him first as well. He's giving me an opportunity. If I go for the J32, I will have him on my 6. I will now bleed him of a little bit of energy, turn away, see what the J32 does. He doesn't want to take it, and he flies away. Trying to turn into the G91 here. I know there's a hunter coming in from my left. There he is. Wait a little bit, turn into him. He's not gonna pull lead in that. Turn into the YS. Get out of his guns as well. And now I have an energy advantage because this plane is pretty bonkers. I'm not gonna be using it though. I want to air brake for a little bit because the hunter, I might have more energy than the YS, but the hunter will still be on my 6. So I just want to drop a little bit of speed, end up behind the hunter, and I'm behind both of them. And being behind both of them makes it so that I can pull in and maybe get a shot off. Kind of struggling to get some shots in here. I broke a little bit too hard, but I will be easily outrunning the G91 YS. I have a missile here. Shoot it at the hunter, hoping he's gonna be looking at the missile, maybe trying to dodge. Try to stay above him, because when you look up with your camera, you might just find the ground. I always try to do it, doesn't really work out very often. Luckily for me, this time it did. AV8, not too worried about that one. Go head on with the YS, blast him out of the air, and our 30 is doing mad work. And now I'm 1v1 versus an AV8. An AV8 I'm not actually too worried about. I do worry a little bit about ripping, but at this point I'm on 8 minutes of fuel, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Go ahead on with the AV8, get a hit, very sad. NR30 sometimes like to give you hits, not too sure why. Most of the time they will, however, one-shot people. And getting those one-taps with this plane are pretty satisfying, as you all know, because these guns reach an insane distance of about 4 kilometers. This doesn't mean that you can shoot at 4 kilometers from behind, but you can shoot from pretty damn far away. He looks to be pretty damaged, or at least some kind. He's extremely slow. I know that the retention of the AV8 is pretty abysmal. I wouldn't assume him to be that slow that quickly. Here we go, starting a dogfight with a Lightning and a J-32. Lightning starts to pull up, I just have to dodge a J-32, so he won't be able to pull back into me. And I just go for the Lightning. Because this J-32, if I just keep turning into him, he won't be able to get near me. The Lightning breaks off, so I go back on the J-32 so I can kind of get on the 6, bleed him of some energy, waste his time. He goes head on, notices he isn't going to make it, so I can simply full commit and shoot him down. J-32 is now the last guy, or the last enemy that can actually kill me. Other than Corpen, but he's not going to kill me because he's out of fuel. I can probably be a dick right now and focus him down and then try to win. But I didn't do that. I also don't have enough ammo for it, because I was missing quite a bit today. Making sure that J-32 is the last fighter, because I don't want to get jumped. Maybe a bit cheap, but I know there's 4 people left. I know 2 are bombers, but I'm not too sure if one of those bombers is going fighter mode. Turning inside of the J-32, trying to stay a little bit below him, and then try to stay above him. And now I have the position, and if he tries to do anything at this point, he is basically boned. He's very slow, I accelerate better, and I have a higher top speed. He is not getting away, and he's trying to spiral me. And the J-32 is this sad, because it just doesn't maneuver very well. It might have very good energy and very good acceleration, it's still heavy, and it turns like an absolute boat. He notices this, we go boat going about 200, 300. He's a little bit faster than me at this point. He's bobbing and weaving. Lead was correct, and the last shot he didn't actually bob and weave. And the game before the one you just saw, yes, it's not in chronological order, but the one before is the one I wanted to show the most. And this is more of an average game. And what do you want to look out for? I have an F-104, I have an F-100 on the left, I have another F-104 somewhere in this map, and the A7D, which are your main competitors. They are the most annoying planes to fight. F-11 don't really bother me, Harriers don't really bother me, but these planes can catch me, and the A7D is just annoying because it has those AIM-9Js, and you do really want to be careful of those. But the most annoying in terms of flight performance will definitely be the F-104. It's very thin, it's hard to shoot, and it's just very maneuverable at higher speeds. You are not, and these guns are not very fast, the missiles are pretty hard to use, and that sounds really stupid, I know, missiles being hard to use. It's more about the missiles not being able to launch with like 2 or 3G overload, and that's very little amount at these speeds. But what am I doing at this point? I'm going head on with an F-100. F-100 doesn't want to take it. He rolls the correct way, I can't roll with him. But now the F-100 is diving away, and the other F-104 is on the deck. So what do? I go for this F-104 that's pretending to be an astronaut, not too sure what he's trying to do at this point. But he's extremely slow, and an F-104 that's presenting himself to be killed is an F-104 that I will immediately go for. Because if I kill this guy right now, I will basically have free reign over the entire battle. Of course, considering I kill the other F-104 as well. So I want the F-104s out of the match. He's going slow, he's going up. I'm not even going to shoot a missile at him because I will be getting very close here in a second. I cut my throttle. If you get a MiG-19 this close on your 6, you're not getting rid of it, especially at these speeds. So that's F-104 down. And now we descend into the battle and see who we can clean up. It's still an F-104 up and there's an F-100, and other than those two I won't be having much trouble. Do be careful of the A7s because they have those AIM-9Js as well as those gun ports, so you don't want to go head on with those, and make sure you don't compress going head on with them because they will take you apart. And now F-Sabers are annoying to kill, and I can see that this F-40 is extremely occupied trying to missile the guy in front of him. He's probably priming his second missile right now, so I send mine his way, and very little chance you're going to be dodging it. If you see someone shoot missiles, if you see someone shoot at someone, very slim chance he's looking behind him, and if he's not looking behind him, he won't be seeing the missile. Right now I would have shot the missile, but I didn't want to because he shot a missile himself and I didn't want my missile to go for his. Get interrupted by the F-40, so I have to break back off, I'm trying to launch the missile, neg G a little bit to get rid of the load factor, and there goes the missile. And as predicted, the F-100 wasn't paying attention to the 6 either, but he was too busy trying to shoot the guy in front of him. F-86 still on my 6, but he's not very fast, he's not shooting missiles at me, so that's completely fine. MiG-19, don't want to go vertical with that thing, especially in an F-100. I got a crit on him, and he is completely boned. He's busted. He isn't going to be doing anything anymore. And now I'm basically 2v1 against an F-86 F-40 and an F-86 F-2. F-100 is on the other side of the map. That guy's in a flat spin, so I'm not going to be having much issues here. I can drain these guys of energy all day, every day, and not really worry about anything. That F-100 is 100% going down. I cut my throttle here just to make sure that I have plenty of time to shoot at this F-40. He's pretty slow. If I'm going too fast, I will compress, I will overshoot him. I don't want that. He has a very good shot here. I want to take it, so I want to make sure that I have plenty of time to aim. Then we go back to the F2. He turns in. I'm not getting the shot. I don't want to commit right now because I'm just that amount faster. I can't really stick on him because if I do, I lose more energy. He's very maneuverable and I will end up flying through his guns. I get the assist for that one. Thanks, game. And the F-40 really doesn't seem to be doing too well. Because these things, just like I said in the other video I did, in the MiG-19PT, these guns hit like absolute minivans. Well, the shells are the size of a minivan, they have more filler than the 37 of the MiG-15 and 17. That's a lot of firepower. And you can see that most of the time. Most of the time you get a hit or a crit, they're basically dead. Sometimes you get those hits where you don't really do anything, but the majority of the time these guns will take someone apart. Trust me on that one. And if you fly the MiG-19s, you can expect even more results. And right now I'm just spiraling this F-86 F2. I'm basically doing a raid fight. And I will just completely out energy him. There goes the F-40. We go a little bit vertical now. He's extremely slow. Use my flaps for a little bit. I don't really use the flaps on this thing. You don't really need them. And they don't seem to be doing that much anyway. I never felt like it really improved my turn rate. But cutting throttle, getting on the F-86 F2. We're now extremely slow. At this point I can just air brake him. And that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Well, not air brake, I'm just cutting my throttle to 0. He doesn't have the energy to dodge. And the F-86 F2 simply dies. And now we go focus down the F-104 with my buddy over there. I'll just cut to that and I show you the result screen, and then we go into the last game. F-100 being forced slow by the other guy. Try to hit at range, get a crit, miss him, but doesn't matter, he's rolling into the ground. He's not pulling out of that one. Into the ground we go. I'm not using any boosters, just a premium account, and that's about it. So these rewards are pretty much what you are going to get as well. And now the game that is after the first one, yes, very logical I know, but I'm now squatted with Corpen. There he is, say hello. A32 dies in the background. A32 is an extremely sad plane. If you thought that the J32 was sad, try the A32. 90 rounds per gun of the 20 mils, when it should be 180. Missed the Mystere because I don't want to commit in the head-on, for obvious reasons. Not really worth it. Mystere isn't much of a threat to me, and going head-on with it is basically the only chance I will give to him, so I'm not going to be doing that. Diving on these guys. Try to get a long range shot in. Don't hit it. Keep situational awareness up. Mystere doesn't seem to be doing too well. AV8 coming from the front. But again, I'm not actually too worried about Harriers. Because Harriers are just, well, they're not very dangerous in this thing. On the two Mysteres. Mysteres dump an insane amount of speed if they do anything. So if I just push these two guys off Corpen, then they are basically out of energy and should be easy pickings. First guy dead. Check F-40 for missiles, and up we go. Baiting him up for Corpen, and if he tries to pitch up after me, Corpen will basically just slam him. He doesn't do it, he tries to dodge, not sure if he hits it or not, but the F-40 at this point is pretty low on energy, and should be an easy kill here. Just gonna shoot the missile over at the Super Mystere, don't want to waste any ammo and time on him, he's slow. Not doing much. Very easy kill. Turning back on the AV8. And this one I'm just trying to pick a target. I can go for the AV8 here, so I will. And after killing him, I will pitch up straight to the guy that's above me right now, that's being baited by corpen, which is a very nice stall here. F40 isn't going to be doing much, he's way too slow. I get a crit. With the MiG-19s, yes, it probably would have killed him. But alas, here we are. Corpen also crit him, we both got hits on him, and he still isn't dead. Won't be able to get a missile off on him. I'm going head on with two of these guys. So I'm baiting them both up if they want to chase me. They don't. Smart decision. And back down we go. Corpen will have him. The F40 is crit. And so I will go for the A4E. Shoot a missile off, just get rid of the weight. Probably won't hit because he has flares anyway, but he's the second last guy. And Corpen will just go for the F40. At least after I tell him to do so. And I'm on the A4E right now. And the A4E does roll exceptionally well. But other than that, it doesn't do anything better than me. I shoot, he dodges. And what I do now is simply just cut my throttle because I'm an ass. Here comes the air brake. And there goes his plane. He's not enjoying that crit, I can assure you. And we just loop back over. And we're on a 6. He isn't gonna be doing anything. And at this point it's just a matter of me finishing him off with the 40 rounds I have left. And since I have two guns, that's about 21 shells a gun, which is more than sufficient with this plane, because that's about 1/3 of your ammo. And we just glide him in, shoot a little bit too much to the right. But at this point we're going so slow, and I'm going really slow as well. I'm air braking him. Another hit. He's not recovering from that one, as you can tell. And he just falls straight into the ground. Same deal this time, no boosters, only premium. And yet again, the game before the one you saw second. Yes, it keeps making more and more sense, I know. But I figured I'd show you this one anyway, because there's a few things I want to show. But in general, if you really don't care, you can skip to about 20 minutes and 5 seconds. That's the most interesting part, and the rest of it is basically just me rambling. And some very average gameplay. Missile on the F-104. We're at 6.5 kilometers. Missiles are pretty agile up here, even this thing, and he's trying to neck G. Sorry chief, isn't going to happen. So that's the F-104 out of the match. If I had missed a missile there, I probably would have just broken or flown away, but I saw an easy opportunity to kill a plane that's very annoying to kill, and luckily he actually killed himself. Kind of. He didn't dodge properly, and it bit him in the ass, quite literally. And now I'm just gonna go to the middle of the area, middle of the map, gonna see if there's anyone I can go for, see if there's anyone in trouble. Anyone that needs my help, and other than that, it's just a matter of picking off some targets. That guy is on the 6 of a friendly, and the other guy is just flying about doing nothing, so of course I go for this guy first. So I want to help my teammate out here, in the event that I save him just in time, but I also don't want to kill myself, so I'm being a little bit too safe here. Probably could have been a little bit more aggressive, but I'm gonna be rushing towards the Harrier now. But it's also an F-86F, and I don't really want to kill myself trying to save someone for obvious reasons. He's pretty slow at this point, he broke off, the YS is also trying to help now. Trying to get a lead in. I compress a little bit, don't manage to pull enough lead, and I miss. And the YS is now on the F-86, but the YS might actually lose that dogfight because the F-86F2 is pretty nimble, and if that thing is running min fuel, then you actually won't win the dogfight, believe it or not. He might have more energy and he might win in a very normal fight, an energy fight and stuff. But if you start close range knife fighting, very slim chance you're going to be winning that one. Unless of course you're better than him, but that's a matter of pilot skill, and I'm not sure who's better in this scenario. The F-86F2 is definitely easier to kill someone with in that situation. Now I go for the F-86F40. He's chasing a Buccaneer, and I just want to kill him. He's occupied with a bomber, he just shot both his missiles off, which is a good thing. So I tell the Buccaneer to go up. I'm trying to find the command here. I never really use these, so I kind of just botched it. Took a little bit too long. Buccaneer says bye to the F40, rightfully so. You're not going to be catching it. Tell the Buccaneer to go up. Maybe the F-86 follows, and if the F-86 follows him up, he's a very easy kill. But instead he goes the opposite way and slams himself into the ground. So I killed him without even shooting. So in my book, this is definitely a win. Save the Buccaneer, and I'm just going to be flying away and looking for more targets. I know you guys don't like me cutting stuff out, but in this case I was actually just looking around to find someone, and nothing happened. Not even climbing, no nothing. I was just flying over here because I saw destroyers were being killed. And now I'm a little bit of a 2v1 versus two A7Ds, and I want to be careful, because if these guys have missiles, preferably AIM-9Js, or well, not preferably for them, and if they have AIM-9Js, I don't want any of these guys to have my 6 at any point, because these missiles will absolutely clap me. So I'm trying to stay on the 6 of both of them before securing kills. I could have gone for the guy below me right now, but then this guy would have ended up right on my 6, and he maybe would have shot a missile at me and I wouldn't have survived it. I'm not going fast enough to dodge it, and that would have been a fat L. I get on the 6 of this guy, but again he's flying away from his friend, and I would have turned my ass towards the A7, or the other A7, and he would have easily killed me with one of those AIM-9Js. So we go up, the other A7 is now flying away. I'm able to cut inside of him here. He doesn't have the energy, but then that guy map borders and ends up on my 6 again, so I again have to break off. Luckily this time he's extremely slow, and I can stick on him for a little bit. Shoot him out of the air, set him on fire, and we instantly turn back towards the other A7. A7 goes head on with the G91YS, takes him down, and now I have to dodge his head on, try to accelerate away to make the shot a little bit harder. I go under him, I pull back over him, and now I'm on his 6 again. About to pull in, just not enough lead, but it's an A7, and the second I kill that first guy, it basically became a non-issue, and down he goes. I'll show you the end of this game. I don't actually have the scoreboard, but I'm going to show you a very high altitude missile, because you know, for some reason y'all want to see top tier, so here you go, here's another missile kill. We're at very high altitude, and even these missiles at this altitude, he's at 7 something kilometers, can't really read it. Look at that thing go, zoom. The higher you go, the deadlier these missiles. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you all pretty soon again.